free. Oh.
Have you been here the whole time?
Yeah? And I didn't see any hole either. You just disappeared all of a sudden. I can't stay here by myself. I'll be cursed. I know it. What am I gonna do?
I might know a way to save you. Do you know about someone named Joseph?
Yeah. He was the guy who lived in your apartment before you. I think he was a journalist or something. He disappeared about 6 months before you moved in. But toward the end, he started acting really weird.
Yeah. He was doing an investigation about a religious cult and a man named Walter Sullivan. I got this letter from him. He told me to go down into the deepest part of it, and to look for the ultimate truth. Let's do that. There must be something down there.
Okay. I'll do it. You're the only chance I've got. I'll stick with you.
The piece of music that we just heard, one of my favorite pieces of music from this game, and one that was actually used in the Silent Hill movie. I believe during the scene, the Silent Hill 2006 movie, I believe it's used during the scene where Rose is using the little like maps on the corners of the streets to find her way to the elementary school. It is a piece called Wounded Warsong. And it is primarily like you've got this kind of like tribal drum beat in the background. You've got that kind of like higher pitched synth noise. And then you've got the rising chord progression in the background that's doing some, I think it's just parallel fifths where it's like. I hope this is the right key. My keyboard might be the tone might be a little detuned, or my keyboard might be a little bit off, but I'm pretty sure it's this like parallel fifths from F to G flat to A flat to B flat. And so I would say that like we're kind of in the key of B flat just based on this progression. It feels like we're arriving at our tonic when we get to B flat. Not a whole lot to say about this on a compositional level. Except that like that rising figure is a sample. It's not something that Akira Yamaoka came up with himself. He came up with how he used it here and layered in like the tribal drum noises and like the chain sound and stuff. But that sample is actually I don't know if I would say a famous sample, but it is used in other places besides this game. What I know about this sample is entirely due to the work of a YouTube user named Chu is Insane, or Chu is Insane, CHUUIS Insane, who put a couple of videos up regarding the sample. The sample is from a library called ELAB Ecstatic Goldmine 4. And it's sample 2 and 3 from track 33. Here, Akira Yamaoka is using it for a track in Silent Hill 4. And it's another one of those tracks where I'm like, I don't know if this really feels appropriate for the scene, but it's a cool track at the very least. The other places that Chu is Insane found this sample were much more famous than where they're used in this game. They've actually put up 2 videos about this. This sample is used in not 1, but 2 Britney Spears songs and a Bon Jovi song. The first one that this user talked about is "You Drive Me Crazy," the Stop remix, where you can hear it in like the middle of the first verse, like in an instrumental section, and then after the first chorus, where it's spliced in a way where it's kind of rhythmically a little bit different, but it is very clearly that same sample pitched to a different key so that it fits in the song. It's spliced up a bit more and rearranged in another Britney Spears song, Stronger. Like during the chorus, like the stronger, I just can't, like you can hear it in the background of that song as well, but it's not as recognizable because it isn't just like doing the, it's doing, yeah, the chord progression isn't the same. So they chopped it up and rearranged it a little bit. But yeah, this user Choose Insane that talked about how there seems to be a connection, at least between like hearing it in multiple Britney Spears songs and in a Bon Jovi song, "It's My Life." Again, chopped up and not quite as recognizable, but those Britney Spears tracks and that Bon Jovi track all were produced by the same producer, a guy named Max Martin, who worked at a studio called Cheron, I think, Cheiron, back in the 90s. And so it seemed to be a favorite sample of his. Like the 90s and the early 2000s were such a big time for sample usage. So it seems that Max Martin and Akira Yamaoka were drawn from the same sample library when they were working on stuff. So a fun little connection to have there. The only other thing I'll say about this track on a compositional level is I like the way that they used it in the first Silent Hill movie, because it does have this feeling of like, oh, we're progressing towards something. And so this does make sense, at least in terms of the overall story, where Akira Yamaoka decided to use this track, or where the director decided to put it, because we are learning more about the story, and we're picking up momentum in terms of like things about the mystery being revealed. Like we're apparently going to be diving into the depths of him, which, I mean, again, there may have been better ways to phrase that, but basically what Joseph was saying in a very cryptic way is we are going to be diving into the depths of Walter Sullivan and what makes him tick. And Eileen's going to be joining us for that journey. But yeah, Wounded Warsong, definitely one of my favorite tracks from this game.